Hello everyone, my name's Gravy and welcome to my review of episode 7 of the HBO Max series, The Last of Us. Okay, spoiler warning, if you haven't played the game, if you haven't watched this episode, if you haven't watched prior episodes, don't watch this video. I have some other videos that you can go watch right now while you're waiting to watch this last episode. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch. Alrighty, let's jump into it. We start out with the blood trail leading up to a house. Then we see Joel in a basement, laying on an old mattress. There's a horse in the garage, which I found funny. You can see Ellie is frantically trying to help Joel. She's trying to cover up his stab wound. She is freaking out. Joel stops Ellie and tells her to leave. Go north, go back to Tommy. Just leave him there. She gets up and starts heading towards the door, and she puts her hand on the doorknob, and then we flash to a flashback. We see Ellie running in the gym with other Fedra recruits. She gets pushed, her headphones get taken off her head, and there's this girl named Bethany, and she's being super annoying, telling her that Ellie's friend's gone and she's the one that fights. So Ellie's whole face changes at this moment, and you can see the anger come into her features, and the other girl notices it too, because you can see the fear on her face as she punches Bethany in the face. We then cut to Captain Kwong, who runs this Fedra school. He's giving her two choices of, you can either continue to get into fights and live the life of a Fedra grunt, or you can do better and become a Fedra officer. And when he puts the keys down, there's a Naughty Dog logo on there, which I thought was funny. And then also when he gives her Walkman back, there's a Sony logo. And I thought, that was a haha moment. She chooses the keys, which is to be an officer. Cut to Ellie in her room reading the Savage Starlight comic that we saw glimpses of with Sam back in episode 5. She also has a Mortal Kombat poster and a plethora of space posters. As she's asleep, someone's coming through her window, and it seems to be the friend that we've heard mention of multiple times that has abandoned her. This friend is Riley, played by Storm Reed, who does a great job. Riley reveals to Ellie that she joined the Fireflies. They had obviously talked about it before, almost as a joke, but she actually did it now. She tells Ellie that she's going to take her out for the best night of her life, and asks Ellie if she trusts her, playing back on our trust themes that we've touched on in the last couple of episodes.
Okay, so where are we going?
Secret. Trust me.
As they're sneaking out of Fedra school, Riley tells Ellie that she has learned from the Fireflies to pick and choose your fights. Don't just fight the Bethanys of the world just because you're mad. Make sure you're pick and choosing, which I thought was really interesting and I feel is going to play in later to some of those plot points. They sneak into a building, and it seems to be an apartment building, and they go up 7 floors, and Ellie is tired, which kind of highlights her skimping out on gym. They're in the hallway, and there's a dead guy. That was not the surprise that Riley had in mind. And as they go to grab the alcohol that's sitting next to him, the dead guy falls to the floor, and pretty solid jump scare. Ellie says something about, is that the first dead person you've seen? Which reveals that Riley actually saw her parents dead. I don't know if she saw them die, but she saw her parents' dead bodies. She then explains how she got to become a Firefly, where she was sneaking out one night. A woman saw her sneaking out and thought she would be a great Firefly recruit. They're then jumping on rooftops, and Riley reveals that she's taking Ellie to the mall. Ellie then mentions that the mall is filled with infected, which I do feel is a bit of foreshadowing. And also, it reminds me of the sewer infected, where I think everyone thought certain places were safe because they had been in a certain location for so long. But then once you kind of go into these secluded areas and you wake up something that's been dormant for a while, then it creates a bit of chaos. Like with the sewer infected, they then came out in a horde and killed all of Kathleen's people. And with this, we'll get into it later, it does wake up some issues. Riley explains that the mall's not sealed off and that they can go in. She lights up the mall and explains that you can only see the lights from the inside, so no one's going to see from the outside, so it's fine. Ellie's whole face lights up when she sees all these lights, and you have to think that this is probably the first time she's ever seen something like this.
Tonight I'm gonna show you the 4 wonders of the mall.
You plan stuff?
And this mall set is just gorgeous. It is so realistic. It is the different stores and the different products lying around. It is so good. It is so well crafted. It is so well made. It is fantastic. As they go down the electric stairs, there's Take On Me playing, which is another 80s song, once again, leaning into the danger theme. Riley and Ellie are exploring the mall, and it kind of shows that they're still teenagers, even in this hopeless situation. They are still teenagers just wanting to have fun, having all these emotions, just wanting a semi-normal life. They stop by Victoria's Secret and they're joking about the lingerie, and then you see Ellie fixing her hair in the window because she has a little crush. I love it. Riley then introduces her to the carousel, which is supposed to be the first of the 4 wonders of the mall, but it's the second wonder because Ellie thought the escalator was a wonder. So the second wonder of the mall, the carousel, and it's lit up, it's turning, and her and Ellie and Riley are riding on it, and Ellie's just staring at Riley with this just love. Like, you can just see it in her, and I think Bella Ramsey does a fantastic job here conveying a teenager with a big fat crush. The carousel stops. Riley explains that ended up joining the Fireflies mostly because the Federal School was giving her assignment and they were going to put her on sewer detail. So she knew that they didn't really value her that much, and she didn't want her whole life just being grunt work. So she felt lost a bit. Then we see the photo booth, the third wonder of the mall, and Riley came prepared. She has her $5, and they start taking photos, which largely mirrors the game's photo booth. When the photos are printed out, they're faded, but Ellie keeps it, and she just looks so happy. Riley takes her to the arcade, the fourth wonder of the mall, where they see a Mortal Kombat 2 machine. Riley also mentions that she had broken the change machine open the day before so they could have coins so they could play it, and I thought that was very sweet. Unlike the game, they actually get to play Mortal Kombat and they're playing against each other, and Ellie has absolutely no idea what she's doing, which is reasonable for someone who has never played a video game, like arcade game. Nothing. She's never had that experience.
How am I doing that? Finish him! Do not finish me. But then you wouldn't get to see.
There's this one character named Melina who takes off her mask and she has monster teeth and then she swallows you whole and barfs out your bones.
Fatality.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know.
As they're playing, the camera pans to another portion of the mall, and it's in a doll store, which is kind of like an American doll store. It looks like that. And it pans in and you see an infected waking up. Ellie's staring at Riley and she wants to kiss her so bad. She gets a bit upset and she tells Riley that she needs to go now. She needs to leave. Her time is up. She just has to wake up in the morning. She has to go before anyone finds out. Riley explains that she got her a gift, so she takes her to Macho Nacho.
Is it a water pistol?
Better.
Better. Is it a dinosaur?
Maybe. I'll be your friend again if it's a dinosaur.
And shows her basically where she's been staying for the past 3 weeks, and gives her the Volume 2 by Will Livingston, which we have seen throughout the series. They begin telling jokes back and forth, and then Ellie finds a group of bombs.
What do you call an alligator in a vest?
Also, throughout this whole episode, they've been having this Firefly versus Fedra fight, and which is better, which has better ideals kind of thing. And so the bombs kind of push that edge a little bit, and it really upsets Ellie because she is worried about Fireflies bombing innocent people or people like Ellie. Riley explains that she would never let them use it on her or anywhere near her, and Ellie says, why would they listen to you? It's a fight back and forth. Ellie's mad. Riley then tells Ellie she is leaving for Atlanta, and she asked Marlene if she would let Ellie join, and Marlene said no. So this is Riley's last night in Boston. She just wanted to say goodbye to Ellie before she had to go. Ellie's upset. She leaves. As she's leaving, she then realizes she should probably go back, so she starts going back when she hears screaming. She's freaking out, thinking it's Riley. She's running through the mall, and then she pops up in a Halloween store where it's just some Halloween decorations screaming. Riley's sitting on the floor, obviously upset about their whole fight from earlier. Riley gives Ellie the Volume 2 book back, and she also explains why she really felt she needed to join the Fireflies. Riley remembers when her parents were alive and she belonged to them. And the fact that the Fireflies specifically recruited her felt like she mattered to them. And Ellie says, you mattered to me first. Which is very true, and that was very sad. Ellie then finally says okay to Riley leaving because she doesn't want her to feel bad for leaving her. She's obviously very sad. Then Riley picks up a wolf mask and gives it to her. Riley's wearing a clown mask, which are basically identical from the game. And they get up on the glass counter and they begin dancing. They're playing music from Ellie's Walkman onto some speakers. After a while, Ellie stops dancing, takes her mask off, and tells Riley, don't go. She's so sad. Riley responds with, okay. They kiss! Yay! They kiss, and Ellie instantly apologizes, and Riley's like, for what? Ellie has that big, goofy grin on her face, and she's just so happy. Then they decide they're going to figure out the whole Atlanta situation, but they're just going to live in the moment for right now. And then an infected, same infected from before, pops out of nowhere. Riley and Ellie are running through the store, and Riley ends up getting knocked out to the ground, and Ellie has to stab the infected a couple of times. It then grabs Ellie, and you're very worried that Ellie's going to get bit at this point, and then Riley comes up and hits the infected over the head. Then the infected grabs Riley, and Ellie stabs it in the head, killing it. Ellie is pretty excited. It's a pretty big adrenaline rush for her, killing an infected for the first time. And then Riley is looking at her arm, and she realizes that she is bit. Remember, she doesn't know that she's immune at this point. This is the moment.
Ellie, your arm.
No, 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 no! No! No.
Her looking at her arm and screaming no was so well done, and it really killed me a little bit inside. Made me very sad. Riley then reveals that she has a bite on her hand, which is more devastating because we know that Ellie is immune, but Riley is likely not. We then cut back to present, and Ellie still has her hand on the door, so this whole flashback has only taken place in a matter of seconds. She opens the door and is now rummaging through bathrooms for any kind of medicine she can find for Joel. At this point, you know she's not leaving him. Then cut back to the flashback. Ellie is smashing the counter. She is just so angry, while Riley is much more quiet, introspective, sad. Riley then tells Ellie that there's two options. The easy way of, ending it themselves, or allowing themselves to live out whatever moments they have left and then die or become infected. Riley wants to keep going until it ends for them. Riley and Ellie hold hands, and Riley says,
We can be all poetic and shit and lose our minds together.
and I find it very beautiful. We then jump back to the present where Ellie opens a drawer and she finds a needle and thread. She then goes to where Joel is and begins sewing him up. And that's the end of the episode. A couple comments. Storm Reed and Bella Ramsey did a fantastic job. I think this was one of the episodes that fully solidified Bella for me. Like, I thought she was amazing before, but she actually knocked it out of the park for this episode. Just did a fantastic job. The theme of trust really plays, the theme of love really plays, and loss is very prominent in this episode. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on it. A really fantastic job. It was really beautiful. It mirrored the game very, very closely. And I thought this was a solid episode. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching it. I'm very excited for next week's episode. So stay tuned for that review. Thank you so much again for watching, and you can hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future, and hit the notification button if you want to get notified when I post again, and leave a comment and a like. If you have anything you want to say, just let me know. And you know what? I hope you have a great rest of your day. Feel free to subscribe once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
I mattered to them.
You matter to me first.